Newry, it's the morning programme. I've got my guest from the Newry and Portadown branch of the Inland Waterways Association of Ireland. Geraldine Foley is with me. And Geraldine, I sometimes drop the Portadown. It's just me. I like the Newry feel to it because it was the Newry Canal Preservation Society that I founded all those years ago. So you maybe forgive me that little...
But the people from Portadown mightn't run.
Are there people in Portadown?
Lots of people in Portadown and lots of people from Portadown in the branch now.
Oh, thank goodness. That's good. We love you. I do. I love you all. It's true. It's true. It's true. There's no two ways about it. It's been a spell of good weather, which did you no harm at all in the Inland Waterways Association.
Yeah, it did us brilliantly because we had a plan to build dams on the summit level. So not dam busters, but dam builders.
And you're not a beaver or anything there. You're good. That's sweet. So
No,
how do you build dams? What were you using?
Sandbags.
Oh,
the old faithful sandbags. Geraldine and Fisher were very good. They gave us the big ton bags, you know, those big ones.
Oh, yes, yes.
And they sent their long reach lorry along, and he was able to
reach them out and put it down.
And drop them right into the loch. And then we filled up the spaces with the smaller sandbags, and we did that at Points Pass and at Scarva.
Now remind the people just why you were building dams in a canal that really doesn't have much water in it.
But to make water in it.
To make water?
Yes.
This is a canal making water. There we are. Take us forward in this story of wonderment.
Yeah, the dams, the idea of the dams is that they will block the two ends of the summit.
Yes.
And then the normal little feeder streams, which don't have much water in them
now,
but they will feed into that. And instead of it just flowing over the two lochs, it'll now stop. And the canal effectively is re-watered between Points Pass and Scarva. Very simple way of doing it.
Yeah.
And our purpose in this was to see what would happen if the water level was raised to 1 metre depth. Would it flood the surrounding land? Would Noah need his ark? Or what would be the outcome? And we're hoping that the outcome will be that there's 1 metre of water and everything's fine.
Yeah.
And then we can look then at applying for funding for lock gates and re-water properly.
Yeah.
And the idea there would be that we'll have the gates in place for the summer closed, and then you can paddle your canoe and your little boat or whatever. And then in the winter we can open the gates back, and
it would be necessary in the winter to open them back because winter water is lots of water.
Yeah.
And there could be flooding then or not.
Yes, well, there could be, because even at the moment with the two ends wide open, the water does sometimes come up on the towpath. So Rivers Agency have agreed that they'll dredge where necessary whenever we are doing this experiment and build up the banks and all that kind of thing.
Progress you have made.
It's brilliant,
you have a Rivers Agency going to dredge for you.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
dredge
fantastic.
To order.
No, I have number 36, please, dredge.
No, Rivers Agency have been very good. When they see that we're volunteering our time, they help, as all the other state agencies try to do. When they see volunteers at work, they're more willing to put to change the order a little, shall we say.
Yeah. And applying for money for gates, does this mean you have a source to which to apply?
Well, as you know, in June we had the Minister of Culture, Arts and Leisure came and visited at the two lochs here at the Newry end, and she offered us the assistance of her officials in making a business case. So they're helping us to do that. And then
you're on the inside track.
It'll mean that we'll have a fairly professional business case rather than me sitting there thinking, how do you do this?
Yeah.
Or having to pay somebody or call on somebody else. So they'll help us with that, and then they will source the likeliest funding channel for us. So it doesn't get us the money, it gets us a good start to getting the money.
Well, where you're doing the work on I see you're in the Reporter today. It's a good story. There's a nice image there. The chair of Banbridge Council is there, encouraging you and all the rest of it. So that's all good.
Then we have some pictures as well.
Oh, have we? Have pictures on screen, Andrew? Have we? Now, what is this? This is Geraldine and Fisher right there.
With their sandbags.
The sandbags.
Yeah.
Now, do you empty the sand?
No, just the bag just sits there.
Oh, they leave the bag with you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
And then we fill up around it with the ordinary size sandbags you see in the time.
And is it one row of bags?
One row of those big ones,
That's all you need?
And just filled up the little gaps with the small ones, and then covered it in plastic, so hopefully it'll stay there and not wash away.
Absolutely. Now, what else have we got?
That's building the dam.
Wow, that's the beginnings.
Filling in the little bits. So we had a good work party on Saturday. We did 2 dams on Saturday. The preparation work with Geraldine and Fisher was done on Friday, and then on Saturday we had our work party out. And
that's lovely. It's
we did the 2 dams.
It's
so
very,
that's about
very
halfway
encouraging.
through. Oh, it is, and members love doing that, Rowan, because it's active,
And you're
positive
seeing
restoration.
water again,
yeah.
you know.
And you're
it's
seeing the
good.
water held back. You
Yeah.
know it's possible.
Goodness gracious.
And next, oh, then there's
There
the
we
same
have.
picture.
That's the picture of the chair of Banbridge Council.
Yeah.
That's Tom, is it not?
That's Tom,
Who's the
indeed.
gentleman behind?
That's Robert Turner. He's the chairman. He's an Armagh councillor.
Wow.
And he is the chairman of the Joint Development Committee that's been in existence for 30 odd years on the canal.
Yeah, and that really led to the development at Scarva. That
Yes,
kind of,
yeah. And Acton Lake and the 2 locks here, that sort of thing. But we had the Deputy Lord Mayor of Armagh there as well, Joy Rolston.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, it was Country Comes to Town in Portadown. So
Yeah.
Colin McCusker, who's the Mayor of Portadown, he
Yeah, he
couldn't
couldn't,
attend.
yeah.
But with the amalgamation of the councils next year, Armagh, Banbridge and Craigavon become one.
Yeah.
The ABC Council. How
Yes,
could you
indeed.
forget that?
You could not.
Very simple. And we're hoping that because it's one council instead of 3, that we'll have a much easier time dealing with the officials.
Of course. But
And
I mean,
that-
you've got them all on board. They're here with you.
Yes,
You're getting
exactly.
apologies from the fellow who had to be,
Yeah.
I'm sorry I've been Portadown because it's Country Comes to Town week, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Love to be with you, blah. Isn't it great?
Yeah. So,
And you have a development committee doing
so
well.
we're hoping that our ideal in the new council would be to get a single official whose
Yeah.
job would be the canal.
Canal.
And they would source funding and they would talk to all the other people who want to do things on the canal. And it would be like, the person that you would go to. And it makes sense, doesn't it, to have one person?
You're articulating the stuff of my dreams all those years ago.
well.
I had no way of knowing that it would ever occur. And then from over the harbour bar came the boat that took the people in who would do it. Back to Newry from your world voyaging.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have another picture, have we, Andrew? Yes.
Oh,
look
that's
at
the
this.
finished dam then
Wow.
in the afternoon. So that's still in place now.
Now, what are we seeing in the foreground there?
That's the lock itself.
That's the
So
lock
where the dam
itself.
is there is where you would have the stop logs. If you wanted to work on the lock whenever the
yes,
canal's
yeah,
in water,
yep,
you put
yep,
logs
yep.
down that slot
Yeah.
and then you can work in front of it.
But that's
So-
not a canal gate there in the foreground, is it?
No,
What is that? It's a huge structure.
that's the lock with the sill.
That's
That's
the
the dark
sill,
bit's
of
the
course,
sill.
of course. Of
So the
course,
gates
yeah.
would close against that sill. You see
Yes,
where there's
yes,
like
yes,
the keystone?
yes, yeah.
It looks like a bridge, but it's a bridge on its flat. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
That's what
yes,
it
I
looks
do,
like.
of course,
So the
yeah.
gates would close against that at a point.
But this is huge work you've been doing.
Yeah, it is. That's great. So that was just when we'd finished the dam. You can see there's a little bit of water there behind
Yeah.
it. So everybody's been down. They've been running down to Points Pass and
Just to
Scarva every
check.
day since
Yeah.
Saturday just to look
Just
how
look,
much
is it all
water's in
right?
there.
And
Yeah.
how much water is there?
Not very much.
Not very much.
Because there isn't very much.
Did you
There's
lose
maybe
any
more
of this?
tonight.
Did you lose any?
No,
of it?
no, not so far. No,
That's
it's
all
pretty well there.
Yeah, yeah.
But we think it'll probably take about a week until we
Yeah.
know what the level will
So
be.
if it all being well, if you go away down the canal track there, where does that lead to?
This is at the Scarva end, so continuing on through that picture, you would end up at Points Pass.
Points Pass. Now
Yeah.
the distance from Scarva to Points Pass on the
Nearly
canal?
4 miles.
4 miles. And we're now looking at a situation with the aid of dredging from
Yes,
the people who said they
the
would
Rivers
help you
Agency, yeah.
for the Rivers Agency. We're now looking at the possibility of 4 miles of
Rewatered
reinstated
canal. Yeah, for small boats.
I can't believe this.
It's amazing, isn't it? So what we're hoping is that you'll be able to put your canoe in just by hand. But
yeah.
ideally, we would like a couple of slipways there, so you could
Hmm.
take a rowing boat and trail it down and go from one end to the
Picnic
other.
in
You know.
summertime.
Yeah,
Picnic in the spring.
yeah.
Will it be there by the spring?
Who knows? It just depends how it goes, Ron. The dam, Rivers Agency said they'll let it sit there for a while, but I suppose they'll monitor it. And then if there's
Yeah.
likelihood of flooding, I would say they'll just tweak it out,
Yeah.
get rid of it. And that's the purpose of it. It's
Of
easily
course,
taken
of
away.
course, of course. Now, what else have we here?
So
Oh, yes, work done. That was nice. Chittle, 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 chottle,
Yeah.
chottle, chottle. Yes,
Yeah.
very, very jolly good. This is the canal wood.
that's Canalwood. So that's Eamon Burke and Pat Watson. They're two of our hardest workers, shall we say.
Yeah.
And both of them are, they're 70 is here.
This is Positive Aging Week
Yes.
as well. Or we're coming into Positive
Yeah.
Aging Week.
Yeah, the launch is Friday.
Yeah, in the market.
In the market,
We'll,
yeah.
we'll have to go to that. But I mean, it's positive aging. What a lovely way to grow old on the canal.
You don't grow old.
You
Nobody
never
grows
grow
old
old
who's
on the
using their
canal.
shovel. No.
No, you don't.
Definitely
No,
not.
Not
No.
ever. Not ever.
No, and the thing is that people retire and they find that want something to do and they want to keep active, and there's lots of things they can do, but we find that people who come to us who are retired, they enjoy the canal. because they're with people who have a common interest. So you have a bond to start
You
with.
have.
There's good banter always there
Oh, yeah.
in the work parties, and you actually feel you're achieving something.
And you're close to the natural world all the time.
Well, I don't know that they'd be noticing that
Oh, really?
when they're digging in the bottom of the canal.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
it's the actual digging and sandbags and that kind of stuff that appeals to those.
Have
those
you
people.
seen any? I know you've seen birds, the kingfisher and all the rest of it. Have you seen any fish life in the part of the canal you're working in?
No, not at the moment. No,
Not at the moment.
because
That'll come down.
before we did the dams, there was a lot of weed and grasses in the bottom, so you wouldn't see. It was wet, so there's probably something in there, but who knows what it is?
And newts and whatever
Possibly,
and the like.
don't know. So we'll
Newts,
see
I
now.
remember
Whenever
newts.
we'll have the water in, we'll see
we'll
what
see what happens.
starts to.
Is that it?
Make
Have
its
we got
way.
her there, perhaps? Ah, look.
Well, this
Yes,
is it.
day is done. Let's have a rest, boys
The
and girls.
Navy's lunch.
The Navy's lunch.
A big part of our thing is that we have our lunch and we provide the lunch. The lunch is free, so we have soup and sandwiches lunch. And this is the time whenever everybody has their bit of crack and sitting around looking at what they're doing. But it's also the time when we get most of our ideas about what we should do next.
Yes.
Is somebody in that group says something, wouldn't it be great if... And somebody else goes, but God, I know somebody who could do this or that. And, away you go off on a big track, So, for example, the other day, one guy from Portadown said, wouldn't it be great if we could do a bit of an education thing on this?
Yes.
And Peter said, oh, there's an education forum that I've been invited to next week. Would you like to go? And says he, yes, I'd love to go.
And says he.
And there we go.
It's
Somebody
all right.
else getting involved in a wee project of their own and off they go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we, is that it? Homeward Bound.
This is our cycling.
The cycling safari.
Which is also a thing we're doing for Positive Aging Week, is that we're hosting a cycling safari
And you're
next
out on
week.
the canal and
we
talking about
we're showing the
canal.
people what.
Showing the
we're always
people.
looking for new volunteers as well, you see.
Yes,
So
yes.
taking people out and showing them what we're doing
Yeah.
is a good way of doing that. And we've had new members from the cycle safaris. So that's one of the events that we're holding for Positive Aging Week is the safari.
You've brought, you guys and girls have brought new life to this old canal.
Yeah, we
You're
have.
doing
We
it,
feel that we're doing
you
pretty
are.
well.
You are.
And as a measure of that, I just learned yesterday that we've been shortlisted for a Northern Ireland Tourist Board and Keep Northern Ireland Beautiful Award for our cycling safari as a community contribution to tourism.
Well done.
So we don't know if we've won, but
And
we'll
those
know in
people
a
as
couple
well,
of weeks.
those people in Invest Northern Ireland, they only managed to give poultry like 1,000 this
saw
year
that.
to our part of the world. But it's not their fault. Nobody applied.
Yeah.
And they're saying, we have the money, you apply and tell us what you want to do with the money and we'll give it to you.
Yeah.
I bet you're across that one.
Well, I hadn't been until I read the paper, but
I know, but they're on, Is that it? What else have we got there now, Andrew? That's more of the
well, this is just we always have a tea break on the cycling as well. So
Okay.
this is in Canal Wood, which has just had a £40,000 facelift.
Wow, well done.
By the Woodland Trust. And that was because Heather Crawford became the volunteer wood warden there. She did a lot of work. We did a lot of work there, had some work parties. And then the Woodland Trust said, well, somebody's caring for this wood. We'll try and get funding and invest in it.
Fantastic.
And they've put in new boardwalks and new bridges and an artwork and all that kind of thing.
Why am I not surprised at what you and Peter and your people are achieving, I tell you. Andrew, that's it.
That's maybe it.
Well,
yeah.
listen, thank you for coming in.
No, it's a pleasure, Rowan.
Marvellous to have those pictures. And we, for our part, shall keep the story alive.
Oh, you do that
We
every
will
week, yeah.
keep the airways positive for the canal.
Thank you, Rowan.
Geraldine Foley, thank you very much indeed.
Thanks.
Take care.